Might have been some.
All right, so that was Moira, Overwatch's new support hero, and definitely go try her out now. Send us your feedback, even if it's just to tell us that yes, she is OPAF. But yeah, definitely let us know how you're liking her. But now to change tone, change subject a little bit, talk a little bit about the new map that we announced at opening ceremonies, Blizzard World. So, hey, you can clap for it. It's exciting.
It's clap-worthy. It's very clap-worthy. This map is amazing.
So, I don't know if any of you were here at BlizzCon a couple of years ago, but I remember it well because I think it might have been my first time up here on the main stage, and I was sitting next to our creative director, Chris Metzen, and someone asked a question, and Chris decided that he wanted to talk about kind of a fun idea that we'd had, which was the idea of a Blizzard amusement park. And he kept asking me, like, hey, should I just say something? And I was shaking my head like, no, don't say anything. Don't say anything. Too far, Chris. But he went ahead and did it anyways. And so that idea has been in the back of our minds, like pretty actively, honest, to be fair, for the last couple of years. And finally, we thought, wouldn't it be fun to actually go ahead and make that? And so we've taken this idea, a name, Blizzard World, and now we've made it into an entire park. And yeah, so
yes.
So I'm the story guy, so I'm going to give you a little backstory on Blizzard World. Blizzard World is an amusement park. It is celebrating the worlds and universes of Blizzard Entertainment. It was built in Irvine, California, obviously. And one important note from a story standpoint is that there is no Overwatch part of the park. So in the world of Overwatch, Blizzard Entertainment exists. It did not create the video game Overwatch or license a game from Overwatch. So there's no Overwatch in the park. This is celebrating the rest of Blizzard. But I'm going to hand it over now to, oh, actually, no, sorry. We're going to play that video again mainly just because we love it. And just
amazing.
let you see a little bit more of the park again.
Where you took your first steps in Azeroth. Where you confronted the Lord of Terror himself. Where you spawned your first Zergling rush. Sometimes, epic memories can only be made in an epic world. Your adventure, your community, your memories. See them come alive in your world. Blizzard World.
Epic fun detected.
Well met. Stay a while and listen to the fireworks. Come and visit Blizzard World. New adventures are waiting for you.
I can't wait to get on some rides.
For the Horde!
Good throw in.
That would be great. I'm so excited to take you guys through Blizzard World. The whole team, all of Blizzard, is so excited about this map, and we thought that BlizzCon would be the ultimate place to show it to you guys. So Blizzard World is Overwatch's newest hybrid map. It is going to take players on an epic journey through the lands of Warcraft, StarCraft, and Diablo. Like our other hybrid maps, the match starts as a fight over the first control point. The defenders start in the Heroes of the Storm arcade, while the attackers will spawn in the Hearthstone Tavern. From here, the attackers can choose to attack the first point through the gates of Stormwind, or they can bypass the choke entirely by going through Lost and Found Vikings. There's so many places to see and explore. There's flanking routes all throughout the first area, like the Fargo Deep Mine, Flight to Duskwood, Or if you want, you can just stop off for a burger and some death wings at Snacks-A-Ramus.
What a great name, Snacks-A-Ramus.
It's a good name, right?
As a
You should make something out of that.
The design of the first choke is more of a mini arena. There's multiple routes for both the attackers and the defenders to get here and also to access the high ground. As the attackers enter the area, they'll find an abundance of cover and several health packs in order for them to gain a foothold. And inevitably, the fighting sort of turns into this big rumble around the statue here. And ultimately, if the attackers are successful, the defenders kind of have to fall back towards the point further into the area. Now, when the attackers take the first point, they'll capture the payload and push it out of the Warcraft area and into the Starcraft area, past the siege tank, and around the pylon terrace. Now, this area is a really large circular arena. There's an abundance of high ground, and there's direct access to it for both the attackers and the defenders. The defenders can set up around the pylon above the cafe, and when they need to, they can drop off and directly contest the payload there. The attackers, if they want to, they can try to take the high ground and contest it against the defenders by taking a path up by the siege tank, or they can try to bypass it and sneak around through the Ghost Academy or through the Nexus experience. There's also all sorts of flanking routes in here. There's a lot of interior opportunities either to attack the defenders or try to set up. Inside the Nexus experience, there's a really great spot for Sombra to set up on the Mega Health Pack, and Symmetra can just create the meanest nest inside the pylon terrace. It's nasty. So once the attackers push the payload to the first checkpoint, they'll start pushing into the Diablo area, and their new spawn room will be the passenger loading area for the Reign of the Black King ride, while the defenders move all the way back into the park's command and control center. So here the attackers push the payload into Leoric's Manor and all the way to the throne of the Skeleton King himself. This area just exudes Diablo mood and flavor. All the lighting in here reminds you of Leoric's Manor. We have all sorts of props like the chandeliers and the shrines and the weapon racks that you can find in Diablo. You can break the barrels. Maybe you'll find some epic loot in here. Maybe there's some lost bit of lore to discover inside this area. Right here, this is actually a super cool Genji flanking route. You can run around the right. You just got to watch out for the drop. This map was a labor of love for everybody on the team. We're all huge Blizzard fans on the Overwatch team. And a lot of the people that we have on the team worked all across the company. We have people that worked on this map that worked on World of Warcraft and Diablo and StarCraft and Heroes of the Storm and Hearthstone, and they all came together to provide so many different ideas about the park itself, from all the crazy rides that you can see in the background and in the gameplay areas, to all just even the cool signs for some of these rides, like the spawning pool and Lost and Found Vikings. Who's that in the spawning pool right there? Che?
I don't know, but I think the water starts blue in the beginning of the day, and
we made special props for all the areas, from the inflatable Doomhammer to the treasure chest to the leather-bound copy of the Green Hills of Stranglethorn, Jeff Kaplan's original masterpiece.
his magnum opus.
Yes.
Those death wings.
There's souvenirs in each of the area that you can get. There's different flavor props that you can find for all of these different areas. We've packed so much into it, and there's so much more than we're showing you here. There's so much more detail, there's so much more passion and ideas, and there's a ton of little Easter eggs, not just in the art, but in the audio as well. As you run around, you'll hear the voices of Deckard Cain and the Adjutant from StarCraft. This is something that we have done for ourselves and fans, and for all of you as fans as well. So that's Blizzard World. You guys can play it on the show floor today. It'll be playable all throughout BlizzCon. It's going to be hitting the PTR soon, and it will go live sometime early next year.